Hello everyone. For number 18 on the August Regents, August 2014, we're taking a look at the function f of x, and we're going to find the zeros of that function. So the zeros of the function, that tells us, or wants us to find, where is this function going to be equal to 0? Where is y going to equal 0 in this graph? Like for what given x values? So the first step here, we're going to go over two ways of doing this. If you're doing this algebraically, first. You go about actually setting this equal to 0. One thing that's a little unique here, and it's actually easier for our sake, we don't have to go about foiling it and putting in standard form. It's in vertex form, which actually makes it quite easy for us to solve. So I'm going to start by adding 25 to both sides. So then the x plus 2 is going to drop down, x plus 2 squared. I'm using the square root property. I'm going to be using the square root property. Now that it's our binomial is isolated and it's squared, how do I undo something that's squared? I take the square root of it. So if I take the square root of x plus 2 squared, I'm just left with the original expression, x plus 2. Be careful on the right. The square root of 25 is not only 5, it's also negative 5. So plus or minus 5. Okay, and now my last step to solve for x is to subtract 2 from both sides. So I'm going to write my not my final answer, but simplified answer of negative 2 plus or minus 5. You wouldn't want to leave it like that. First, look at the choices. None of them look like that. And you could do this math in a few seconds here. Negative 2 plus 5 is going to give you an answer of, think about this as two separate kind of operations. And then negative 2 minus 5. So just separate the two symbols. Add 5 and subtract 5. And that will give you your two answers. So negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So that's one of our zeros when x is 3. And the other zero, negative 2 minus 5, which would be negative 7. So 3 and negative 7 are what we're looking for, and that would be correctly choice 4. Okay, an alternative, we can use the graphing calculator and we can type this in. And we can do this since it's a multiple choice question. And if we go to our table, we could use the 0 feature under trace, but if we go to our table, if you look at choice, or where x equals 3, we see a 0. So right away that would tell you your answer. There's no other choices that just had 3. But we could also check, if we go to negative 7, we also see 0. So the x values of negative 7 and 3 we verified do create zeros for this function f of x. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped.